Can you express your feelings about the media coverage toward the Syrian refugees in France and more broadly in Europe, as opposed to in the Arab world?
First of all, I'm involved in the game of media. I'm a journalist. I work in international newspapers. The thing is, as you mentioned, there's the European coverage and there's the Arabic coverage of what's happening, and there's the thing in between. The thing is, there's always, this hasn't started right now, it's an old thing. There's a gap of information. We have a lot of incoming information towards the Arab world regarding the subject, in this matter it's the refugees, and a very, very low amount of information is being sent from the Arab world to the Western media. When I say being sent, I mean via platform, via the mediums of publication, which is television, now internet, and radio and TV. Yes, so the content that we have is not enough to express the Arabic point of view. But when you talk about the European point of view, it's the rule of journalism, the rule of media. What is the interesting story? If we see like 10 refugees, which one of them is the most interesting? Which one of them took the hardest trip? Which one of them could be good? Because now the rule right now for something valuable in the media, it's not the content, it's not how meaningful it is, it's not how inspiring it is. It's how much could it be circulated. The value comes from it's the value of circulation, not the value of the meaning. How much this thing, and that's why we have this thing called right now trending. How much is it trending? Is it the same thing in media, but in a more serious way? That's one side. The other side, there's always politics in media. Always. It's never neutral. No matter what channel, no matter what newspaper, each one of them has its own agenda, has its own specific coverage. But, in general, in Europe or in America, it's the victimization. Refugees, especially Syrian now, we are victims. We are always being judged as victims. There's sympathy towards us, which will be like this for our entire lives. It'll be the same thing with Palestinians. It was the same thing with the Jews after the World War II. It's always like this. These are the victims. And this victimization will create an international guilt. Everyone feels guilty about what happened in Syria, about what's happening in Syria. The same thing as everyone feels guilty and have to do something because of what's happening in the World War II. Even, like, for example, even the Palestinian-Israeli problem, I'm not going to be talking about this, but even the Arabs feel guilty of what's happening in the World War II. And even though they don't have, it wasn't their war at all. They did nothing. It's a war in Europe, white man killing a white man. That's the cultural definition of it. And that's what created the guilt complex internationally. And now it's being applied towards the Syrians. What matters is what makes us look good, not what is good for people. And I think that's now the media, and especially the new media, the internet and everything, playing a huge role in this, in order to create this. There's two images now: masses of refugees, either publicly raping women in Germany, or tons, hundreds and thousands of them crossing the borders, or these individual cases when you can see them like they are cool, they live in Paris on the 15th, and this is it. This is how it's being created. Why? Because it has an agenda, because it has a cadre in the camera. It chooses what to show. And that's basically the whole game of the media, as we can say it. Everything we're doing now, everything we're reading, will be later documents. People will be back to it, people will study it, will see, okay, we have these special cases. But in general, what's left for history, or what makes history now, like the mass raping, the events that happened in Germany, it will be a great document, not to this generation now, later. When we study, like when we be reading a PhD, like after 10 years or 50 years, talking about the integration problem, this event will be a lot more exaggerated, a lot more interpretations to it. While at its moment, I don't know if it's like this or not, but I wasn't there. I only see what the media said, and I have no other reference. I have no other source of information, and that's why I think this will create a problem later. Not only right now. Later will be like also categorized as a specific group of people. But with the same problem like the colonialism studies or the post-colonialism studies, it will always be the same. How these group of people are judged, they are standardized, they are categorized with specific ethnic and anthropological definitions, which is later will be used. This is the core of the problem actually. For the sake of history, for the sake of later, not now.
Do you think there will be an impact of the media coverage on the state's
No.
initiatives
No.
about the issue?
No. The problem of Calais has been going on for almost a year or so. And there's always stories about, yes, there's refugees, they live in the jungle, blah, 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 all these stories. But suddenly we found, and nothing happened until like at one moment, suddenly we found these new camps has been built. They're taking pictures and doing reports about them. Look, now we have camps with the refugees. It took a year. So imagine in Syria in 5 years, what happened? We only see it's like a line of narration, but has a lot of gaps. We only see the tips of it, and that the tips of it what will be left for the history, but the real events, what's really happening, the everyday suffering, the everyday loss, no one will notice.